Chapter 6. The Training of Concentration. By practicing Sila, we attempt to control our speech and physical actions. However, the cause of suffering lies in our mental actions. Merely restraining our words and deeds is useless if the mind continues to boil in craving and aversion, in unwholesome mental actions. Divided against ourselves in this way, we can never be happy. Sooner or later, the craving and aversion will erupt, and we shall break Sila, harming others and ourselves. Intellectually, one may understand that it is wrong to commit unwholesome actions. After all, for thousands of years, every religion has preached the importance of morality. But when the temptation comes, it overpowers the mind, and one breaks Sila. An alcoholic may know perfectly well that he should not drink, because alcohol is harmful to him. And yet when the craving arises, he reaches for the alcohol and becomes intoxicated. He cannot stop himself, because he has no control over his mind. But when one learns to cease committing unwholesome mental actions, it becomes easy to refrain from unwholesome words and deeds. Because the problem originates in the mind, we must confront it at the mental level. In order to do so, we must undertake the practice of bhavana, literally mental development, or in common language, meditation. Since the time of the Buddha, the meaning of the word bhavana has become vague as the practice of it has fallen away. In recent times it has been used to refer to any sort of mental culture or spiritual uplift, even such activities as reading, talking, hearing, or thinking about Dhamma. Meditation, the most common English translation of bhavana, is used even more loosely to refer to many activities from mental relaxation, daydreaming, and free association to self-hypnosis. All these are far from what the Buddha meant by bhavana. He used the term to refer to specific mental exercises, precise techniques for focusing and purifying the mind. Bhavana includes the two trainings of concentration, samadhi, and wisdom, panya. The practice of concentration is also called the development of tranquility, samatha bhavana, and that of wisdom is called the development of insight, vipassana bhavana. The practice of bhavana begins with concentration, which is the second division of the Noble Eightfold Path. This is the wholesome action of learning to take control of the mental processes, to become master of one's own mind. 3 parts of the path fall within this training: right effort, right awareness, and right concentration. Right effort. Right effort is the first step in the practice of bhavana. The mind is easily overcome by ignorance, easily swayed by craving or aversion. Somehow we must strengthen it so that it becomes firm and stable. A useful tool for examining our nature at the subtlest level in order to reveal and then remove our conditioning. A doctor wishing to diagnose the disease of a patient will take a blood sample and place it under a microscope. Before examining the sample, the doctor must first focus the microscope properly and fix it in focus. Only then is it possible to inspect the sample, discover the cause of the disease, and determine the proper treatment to cure the disease. Similarly, we must learn to focus the mind, to fix and maintain it on a single object of attention. In this way we make it an instrument for examining the subtlest reality of ourselves. The Buddha prescribed various techniques for concentrating the mind, each suited to the particular person who came to him for training. The most suitable technique for exploring inner reality, the technique the Buddha himself practiced, is that of anapanasati, awareness of respiration. Respiration is an object of attention that is readily available to everyone, because we all breathe from the time of birth until the time of death. It is a universally accessible, universally acceptable object of meditation. To begin the practice of bhavana, meditators sit down, assume a comfortable upright posture, and close their eyes. They should be in a quiet room with little to distract the attention. Turning from the outer world to the world within, they find that the most prominent activity is their own breathing. So they give attention to this object, the breath entering and leaving the nostrils. This is not a breathing exercise. It is an exercise in awareness. The effort is not to control the breath, but instead to remain conscious of it as it naturally is, long or short, heavy or light, rough or subtle. For as long as possible, one fixes the attention on the breath without allowing any distractions to break the chain of awareness. For as long as possible, one fixes the attention on the breath without allowing any distractions to break the chain of awareness. As meditators, we find out at once how difficult this is. As soon as we try to keep the mind fixed on respiration, we begin to worry about a pain in the legs. As soon as we try to suppress all distracting thoughts, 1,000 things jump into the mind: memories, plans, hopes, fears. One of these catches our attention, and after some time we realize that we have forgotten completely about breathing. We begin again with renewed determination, and again after a short time we realize that the mind has slipped away without our noticing. Who is in control here? As soon as one begins this exercise, it becomes very clear, very quickly, that in fact the mind is out of control. Like a spoiled child who reaches for one toy, becomes bored, and reaches for another, and then another, the mind keeps jumping from one thought, one object of attention to another, running away from reality. This is the ingrained habit of the mind. This is what it has been doing all our lives. But once we start to investigate our true nature, the running away must stop. We must change the mental habit pattern and learn to remain with reality. We begin by trying to fix the attention on the breath. When we notice that it has wandered away, patiently and calmly we bring it back again. We fail and try again and again. Smilingly, without tension, without discouragement, we keep repeating the exercise. After all, the habit of a lifetime is not changed in a few minutes. The task requires repeated, continuous practice, as well as patience and calmness. This is how we develop awareness of reality. This is right effort. The Buddha described 4 types of right effort: to prevent evil, unwholesome states from arising, to abandon them if they should arise, to generate wholesome states not yet existing, to maintain them without lapse, causing them to develop and to reach full growth and perfection. By practicing awareness of respiration, we practice all 4 right efforts. We sit down and fix attention on the breath without any intervening thought. By doing so, we initiate and maintain the wholesome state of self-awareness. We prevent ourselves from falling into distraction or absent-mindedness, from losing sight of reality. If a thought arises, we do not pursue it, but return our attention once again to the breath. In this way, we develop the ability of the mind to remain focused on a single object and to resist distractions, 2 essential qualities of concentration. Right awareness. Observing respiration is also the means for practicing right awareness. Our suffering stems from ignorance. We react because we do not know what we are doing, because we do not know the reality of ourselves. The mind spends most of the time lost in fantasies and illusions, reliving pleasant or unpleasant experiences and anticipating the future with eagerness or fear. While lost in such cravings or aversions, we are unaware of what is happening now, what we are doing now. Yet surely this moment, now, is the most important for us. We cannot live in the past, it is gone. Nor can we live in the future. It is forever beyond our grasp. We can only live in the present. If we are unaware of our present actions, we are condemned to repeating the mistakes of the past and can never succeed in attaining our dreams for the future. But if we can develop the ability to be aware of the present moment, we can use the past as a guide for ordering our actions in the future so that we may attain our goal.